Well, hello and welcome back to another How May I Serve You Today? Ask Me Anything session. Cliff Ravenscraft here. Just want to let you know this, I think, is session number 25, 26, something like that of this format. I am absolutely having a blast, and I look forward to the opportunity to being of support and or encouragement to anyone who might come across my path today. So, if you're not aware of what I'm doing here, and I'm basically saying this for the first few minutes for those watching the replay, although there is already a few folks that are tuned into the live stream, what I'm doing here is hosting an opportunity for 90 minutes every day, Monday through Friday, except for when I'm out of town. So, for example, we're hosting a workshop next Friday, August 29th, and it also is Saturday, August 30th. You can learn more about that if you wanted to at freethedreamworkshop.com. But I'm not here to promote or market anything. I am not here to put you into some sort of sales funnel. This is not for me to perform or to try to persuade or anything like that. This is me answering the greatest call I feel in life, and that is to be of support and encouragement to anyone who comes across my path. And I have determined that I will devote 90 minutes a day, each weekday, to that pursuit. You do not have to know who I am. You do not have to be a client, a former client. You don't have to be listening to any of my content. You don't need, all that's necessary is that when you come here, you kind of feel like, huh, I'd like to chat with Cliff. So if you're wondering, why am I here? I'm here for you to have a conversation. You could ask me anything. That's all this is. One of the things we could talk about is if you're feeling stuck in a goal that you were once excited about, but kind of just feels like it's dying on the vine. Maybe you're wrestling with some sort of uncertainty about a major decision that you're facing. You're navigating some anxiety or self doubt about what's next. Yesterday, I had an incredibly awesome hour-long conversation with Jordan Powers about the anxiety and stress that he's been experiencing related to his live event. There was a major breakthrough that came from that conversation. So much so that even though I have 20 conversations that are yet to be released as episodes of the Cliff Ravenscraft Show that have come out of these live sessions, I'm putting his conversation from yesterday into the queue. My phone's going off over here. Anyway, that's what I'm doing here. I'm just here to be of service. I have no slides, no presentation, anything like that. I'm just here to be of service to you. So I'm going to sit here in silence as I wait for the first person to join me on Zoom. And there's no guarantee that anyone will join me on Zoom. I'm not attached to anything, but if you want an opportunity to have any support, any encouragement, any conversation on any topic, this is your opportunity. cliffravenscraft.com/join. There's a Zoom call standing by, and I'm just sitting here waiting for you to join. All right, I'm going to sit in silence now. Looks like we have Wesley Rice getting ready to join us here. Always excited to see Wes. So he is getting logged in. I see his videos connected. We'll wait to see if his audio gets connected. All right, he is going to be 9:16. Wes, just make sure you unmute yourself there. Wes, how can I be of service to you today, my friend? Okay, if you say something, and I will see if I need to unplug and replug in my Rodecaster Pro. Okay, he dropped off. So he will probably be back in just a moment. He is having some technical difficulties, but I would imagine Wes will be able to get that solved here momentarily. Please stand by. Meanwhile, by the way, if anybody wants to join me, cliffravenscraft.com/join. Wes, I think we're connected.
Oh, hey, Cliff, can you hear me?
I can. How can I be of service to you today?
Oh, I just thought I'd jump on and say hi real quick. It's been a while and compliment you on your beard. I'm sure you get lots of comments on it, but it's looking solid.
Thank you. I'm having fun with it. That's for sure. Different season of
That's
life needed a different look. I think.
no, it's good to mix it up. Every once in a while, I'll grow into, and my kids are always like, "Yeah, too many grays in there, Dad." I'm like, "That's okay." I welcome every gray hair. Every gray hair was there for a reason, I think. So
Yeah, I like to think it's like this is my sage wisdom and experience walking the earth. Yeah,
exactly, yeah,
I I
I
feel
agree.
like
That's a
Gandalf.
which is a good character to be to be reminded of.
How things going in your world?
Trying to think. The last time we talked, it's actually going really well.
Good.
It's been a great summer. I think yeah, there's definitely a lot to be thankful for. I think just as far as personally, but also professionally and stuff like that. There's probably been some of the best growth in the past 3 months that I've had maybe previous 5 years. But not in a stressful way, but in a way where looking back now, it's been my wife and I went for a walk yesterday and recapping because after 3 months, that's a quarter of the year. It's enough time to see a trend, to see kind of review stuff. And so it was trying to be present and just enjoy this moment in life, just this season. Because I know you have kids, and my kids are getting older, and first one is my oldest is starting high school. And so you're like, one of those things you start reevaluating because that's a milestone going into high school. And you look back and we were talking and like, oh, I miss it when they're younger. But I was like, I don't want to be distracted by that. That chapter is closed, and now there's a new chapter, and I want to be present and to maximize this current chapter. And I realized how much, with as many distractions there are, trying to live intentionally is can be a distraction too. Like, hey, I'm going to, just trying to be present. So really trying to unplug more, and I find that's helped.
That's awesome. I
So.
love that. So, are you and Lisa doing things together to like ramp up what was going on with Rice Camp and stuff like that I see on Instagram, or where's your focus today?
Um, I think so. With Rice Camp, yeah, I think that this past year has exploded with opportunity,
Yep.
and that has been really cool. Where I never thought I would turn down opportunities. Because prior to that, you're always hungry. You're trying to create opportunities. And so we're like, well, it's not a turn down. It's just trying to schedule further out, I suppose. And so it's been really cool to see that. But going back to the being present is that I realize as much as that's been a great thing, offered a great opportunity for a family to spend time together doing these cool things that we normally would not do.
Yep.
There's the behind the scenes part of it that is uh distracting, not stressful, but like it takes a lot of time to produce that level of content, as well as facilitate the logistics of arrival and just packing and just the negotiation, the terms and the agreement to the assets to deliver on. So trying to find that balance where it's um the benefit and the reward outweighs where's it out on that teeter totter of yes, it's time consuming and takes me away, but at the same time, the kids and the family have a great time. So it's an investment in that way. So I don't know. It's been this past year, so that's another thing we've been evaluating. Like, well, what does the next year look like and 5 years look like? Best case scenario. Like, if we could dream big, like I love your question of like, if you could, what would it look like? And I still realize how much limitations I put on myself. Like, oh, if we could just do this, and Lisa and I will still go down and limit ourselves, and I'll stop and I'll be like, no, I gotta think what Cliff would say if he was here right now on my shoulder talking in my ear, and this imaginary cap I put on my head because even last year, what we're doing now, I never thought it exceeded my expectations from my 5 year goal.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I can do that in a year. So um, yeah, it's been, trying to be present, just see what happens unfolds, but also that being intentional too, taking the reins and charting a course, but being open to change and stuff. So,
Yeah. So you had a different place of employment for a number of years, and then is this what you've been focused on for income, or have you been doing other work outside of Rice Camp?
I was able to get another full-time job. And so that's part of
Okay.
it, is that you got multiple jobs.
Okay. That
But
makes
this other
sense.
job has been, yeah, yeah. So that the other job, because there's that immediate, hey, I need to pay the bills today.
Yep.
And so the other part is that last 3 months for that other job that I've started, it's been a huge blessing, and really, really, really enjoy it. Like exponentially more than my previous job. And my previous job I just liked a lot.
Yep.
Um, and so I think there was some change, and so be able to switch to this other thing, it's offered other opportunities and perspective on day-to-day stuff that I never had before. Um,
I know that was something that years ago when we first met, I think it was back in March of 2023 or something like that. You were just talking about the fact that you felt like there's not a lot of area for me to grow my skills and be stretched and stuff like that. So I love how when you have that, I call it I borrow this term from somebody that coined it. It's this holy discontent, if you will. And if you hold on to that holy discontent, either you're going to make a conscious decision to have your situation change, or unconsciously somehow that situation will change such that you can live in alignment with what would make your soul sing. And
mm,
so I hear that you have a new place of employment that's your full-time gig. So Rice Camp is not a primary focus, and it's just something that you guys are doing on the side for just a little fun. My question for you is, yeah, I mean, it sounds to me like you really love the new job, and you may be satisfied with just staying there and letting Rice Camp be on the side, or is do you have thoughts on that? And of course, we're streaming this live, so feel free to filter one's self as much as you desire.
sure. Um, I think it's there's it. The older you get, you think like you'll have it figured out, but the older I get, the less I have figured out, the more I realize I don't know, and trying to realize how not complicated, but just there's a lot of moving parts the older you get. It doesn't get the parts don't get smaller in life; they get bigger and more complicated. So like my kids getting older, I'm like, well, right now things that are important are different than what was important to me maybe 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago. And so as my kids are getting older, I'm like, my thought is I want to be enjoy that season as much as possible. And so right now having that job like security and like where I can go enjoy my job, but also leave and be present for them is a high priority. I think eventually, long term, once the kids have moved on, um, Lisa and I would love to. So this is kind of what I'm envisioning, is laying the foundation for what we would love to do, like where we have more free time and we don't have. There's a show we watch every night on YouTube. My kids introduced it to me. It's a series of a YouTuber called Ryan Trahan. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He went every day to a new state, a new Airbnb, 50 days, 50 states. And so it's a journey that they post the video the next day. And so every night we would watch that, and just, it's a very lighthearted end of the evening show to watch on YouTube. They're like 20 minutes long. Kids and, the family watches it. And one, we really enjoy watching that just as a family because it's lighthearted, it's wholesome, it's not, it's a fun show. But Lisa and I were talking, it's like, what if we would do something like that? Where, not 50 days in 50 states, but a variation of that where you go, and because we love featuring unique things, people's stories and people's stuff. So we're kind of envisioning this because what Rice Camp was before, previous year or so ago, the last 10 years, is different now. And so now it's kind of maturing and finding it's more of its rhythm and what could be long term. And so, one, experiences with family. Two, what does it look like to provide income through Rice Camp through that? And and so I think that's what we're trying to see. What's the long term, what's a realistic goal, but also laying that foundation so we have that potential because the previous work we did let all backing up slightly, Lisa had asked, "What are we even doing this Rice Camp for? Why are you even doing it? Is it just for fun? Is it just a time-consuming thing just for our attention?" It's like, well, no, we don't care about the attention. We don't care about the followers. It's nice and stuff, but at the same time, it's like we do it just to provide value, entertaining, and a creative outlet for ourselves. And if other people like it, great. If they don't, that's fine too. But we didn't know what we were doing it for. And so, but because of that, we've built an audience to build opportunity. So now we're like, okay, what does this opportunity look like if we go to phase three, I suppose? And so that's sort of kind of thinking, what if? So on our walk, we're capping ourselves, but that's, where the, again, that clip on the shoulder is like, well, what if it's, if you guys like watching this guy on YouTube, what if you were to do bigger than that? What would that even look like? Because initially our thought is we can't that's not our level. We couldn't get there. But why not? Why not? So
My opinion, I've not watched the YouTube channel of that you are referring to, but one of the things without even seeing it, because I know just overall what quality of video production and things that are out there, you have that level of quality. You have the highest level of quality in the work that you do. And the fact that you're able to shrink story and that production value into shorts and reels just amplifies what you have to the table. So I'm going to throw out to you, like, I have no clue. You and I have never had a conversation about what the exchange is between you and any of the places that you featured on Rice Camp. But I come across your reels on either Facebook and or usually Instagram, and I've
yeah,
never
typically.
yeah, I've never scrolled past them. Never. Anytime, I mean, sometimes I don't know about you, but I sometimes I'll go through my stories, but when I see one of yours, I instantly stop. And it's not, hear me, it is not because of our friendship, our relationship that we built over the years. That's not why I stop. I stop because the production value is so amazing. And it's, by the way, it's not even the location that you're featuring, because most of the stuff that you're featuring are in places in this country that I may never visit, or at least certainly have no current plans to go and visit. I think you're in Oregon, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yeah.
So it's not like, oh man, I need to get to Oregon. But what does happen is I absolutely am, my entire focus and attention is raptured and captured and just fully encompassed by the instant hook of the combination of music, the cinematography, or whatever, the cinematic
Yeah, the cinematic.
approach,
Mhm.
the cinematic approach to the way you shoot the video, the angles, the edits, the cuts, and then the story. I just love a story, and I love great content that's visually and aesthetically pleasing. And you have all of that 10 out of 10 quality. And I don't say that to anything, but here's where I'm going with this. You, in my mind, are already at a level where I wouldn't do any of those for anyone for less than $10,000.
Thank you for the kind words. That means so much coming from you. I mean that's amazing. I really appreciate that, and I appreciate the perspective. I think, yeah, I definitely minimize what I do because I think the people I look up to, I'm like, oh, if I could be like that guy, I'm only down here, but it's yeah, it's
Let me play with you for just a second.
yeah.
So even if it were a comparison between you and whatever that guy is, all right? Here's the situation. If that brand in Oregon wanted to do a collaboration with you, and they're willing to give you, a couple nights stay for you and your family, and whatever, again, I don't even need to know what the arrangements are, but here's the situation. For you, listen, it's $10,000 and we can knock this out of the park for you. And they're like, I don't know, it's kind of between you and that guy. And I can guarantee you that guy's going to do it for no less than 25,000 or 50,000.
Mm. Yeah, I think there's a part where as this journey was, it's like, well, I've got to get my feet wet, but at some point you're already out there swimming, and I think that's where it's switched from this past year is I don't know what is this going to look like to, well, you put your feet in 10 months ago or 12 months ago, I'm out there swimming too, and I think that's the part where I didn't realize I was out there swimming, to your point. Like we will scroll through previous videos and we're like, I like watching these. These are fun to watch. And it's like, well, if I like that, and I'm pretty critical of my own stuff, as most people are of their own work, but to hear that you enjoy it, it's like, okay, maybe we're further along than we realize
Oh,
down this
you're
path.
definitely much further along than you realize.
I think that's this past season. You kind of do it because I've been focusing on my new role, my new job.
Yep.
And so that's been kind of like, well, I'll do this other stuff because I want to do it, but not realizing how much growth. And I think that's this past year, but specifically this past 3 months has been, both these things have professional career wise, and this has both gone.
Yeah. And I think
But
you've absolutely put your focus where it needed to be. You had a situation where you needed a new place of employment to land to fill a gap that had opened up, and obviously a commitment and loyalty to a company that's willing to take you on as a consistent uh, paid employee. You obviously you've put your attention in the right area. Also, I hear is that there's no real rush for this to become a significant source of revenue while the kids are here. I already am committed to approximately 40 hours a week with an employer, and I kind of like doing this, and I see it as building a foundation. The only thing that I think I'm sensing here is an opportunity for you to not do more and not try to force this to become your full-time gig anytime soon, but to start testing the waters of, am I truly understanding the value? I'm talking about the
mm,
monetary value of what I actually created for this brand. And when you think about that, because this isn't a reel that gets seen once and then disappears forever. There's a couple of things that you could do. You could actually create a version of this that can be embedded on their website so that every single person that is ever on their website gets seen. They could use it as marketing pieces in other places. They could ask other people to run these things. There's all sorts of ways that you could give this to where it's an evergreen piece of content. But the thing is they're not going to be able to just hire some kid from high school that works in the AV club to come out and create the asset of what you create. And then just think, I mean, if you wanted to, you could just go into Chat GPT and you could say, hey, there's this brand, they're a travel destination. Please do some deep research and tell me, what is their gross annual revenue?
mm,
And of a company that is of this size with this gross annual revenue and that's been around for this long and is in this industry, What is the average marketing budget for such
Mm.
a company? And what I think you'll find is that the dollar figures and the numbers are much higher than what you might possibly be dreaming of right now.
Mm.
I just think about the days when I was still in the insurance office, in the family business back in, gosh, nearly 20 years ago now. And do you have any clue back in the day how much it cost to have a Yellow Pages ad?
No idea. No idea, actually.
It was like $2,000 or $3,000 a month.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it
So what would
was.
that be in today's dollars, I wonder?
Would you do them? Just ask ChatGPT to help you
Yeah.
raise for the inflation. Obviously, Yellow Pages aren't in existence anymore today, but back in the day, it was the place. And I will tell you right now, there wasn't a local business that generated revenue that had a service-based approach to needing customers, and customers are looking.
Mm.
And Yellow Pages was the place everyone looked for insurance agent, lawyer, doctor, blinds for your windows and vinyl siding, roofing company, your HVAC, your air conditioners out. The Yellow Pages was the place to go. And there was no other place you could go to advertise to get that attention. And yeah, in the last several years, for you to have a full page color ad, and if you didn't have that, you didn't stand out. You're looking 2 to 3 grand per month.
Mm.
So and it's what I'm trying to get at is just imagine if just think about the last time a company invited you and the family have a couple nights stay in our place, and and whatever else they give you or whatever. But what if on top of all of that, they also cut you a check for 10 grand? I'm telling you, it's
That would change
worth.
things.
It would change a lot of things. And that, if there's anything that I wanted to do, just knowing that what I've been witnessing, what I've been seeing,
Yeah.
is make sure that you're at least exposed to the idea that that level of possibility exists.
Mm.
And not everybody. I mean, there's going to be some of these little brands that you're working with, that little
Yeah.
getaway places, that they don't have that level of budget. And you could still do whatever you want for anybody you want at any level. But if you think about, I've been watching your vertical of where you're at. It's like, this is things that you and your family can do in destination places. You could potentially target and say, listen, okay, once a month, every month, we will do one family project of a destination place that is a getaway for our family, and we also get paid $10,000 minimum.
That would be that'd be great. That'd be it's seems doable when you put it like that. I think especially some of these businesses because they each one has absolutely loved it. Like and so that's always encouraging and um but to really explore what's possible because all the work's going in already.
That's
All
exactly
the
it.
everything's it's already happening.
There is that's the key. So what I was hearing earlier is we've been watching this video, this series on YouTube with such and such, and boy, what if we went and did that? And my thinking is, boy, what if you didn't do anything more than what you're already doing, and you just get paid an extra 10 grand a month for it?
See, yeah, that's a good shift because I was thinking I have to do more, but I think what we're doing now is so much as it is, it just needs to be I need to check all the boxes instead of leaving some of them blank, which is the compensation part. Yeah.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
you'll get some people. It's like, are you out of your mind? Seriously, we can get a ton of influencers to just do this for a free night stay or whatever this or that is, and they're right. There will be some influencers out there that do it. Very few will produce the level of quality of what you produce. I'm not saying that there aren't any, but
Yeah.
very few will.
I think yeah, just seeing what's There seems to be a shift too between companies realizing the potential of having a good presence being represented online. I think, which is what I've seen, between us reaching out to more actually them reaching out to us. Be like, oh, I saw you do this for this person, or this person said they worked with you and they really loved it. Can you do one of those for us? And where the trying to present what we do is less of a foreign topic to companies, or they already know. They see the value. And so I think if I was a business owner and like looking for exposure and I saw that, it'd be like putting myself in their shoes. And I think I haven't really done that. I always sat in my shoes instead of from their perspective. Because if they were to go to get anybody else, an agency, for example, to come create something, they would be paying, it's a
Yeah.
big ticket.
And also think about this. Each of these places likely, I can't imagine that they don't, have their own Instagram and also Facebook presence.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
also are very much aware of the fact that, hey, I really do need to market myself. Otherwise, why would they be reaching out to you with these offers for you to come and stay and do the exchange or whatever? But the thing is that they are hyper aware of the fact that how I get attention in people who are out there in my demographic, they're all browsing through Instagram and or Facebook, and paid ads is a way to get that. And do you know what you could, if you don't have great assets for the ads? So think about not only what you're creating with the Rice Camp and bringing your community and stuff like that, but just like, listen, hey, we can create a version of this that is not necessarily Rice Camp branded, but it
Mm.
is for your assets. and
Mm.
and like I said, $10,000 is easy for something that they could use to run ads over the next couple of years.
That's true, because it could be evergreen, and so they could use that. It's something that would be an asset that would long outlive um, that initial interaction that we had out there. So, yeah.
Yeah, fun stuff to think
That's fun to
about.
think about. That's I think it's cool to be that close, to do all the work and actually look back and be like, well, between Lisa's strengths and my strengths, and then there's getting that piece of the pie, that puzzle put together. It's like, yeah, I mean, I think unconsciously it seems so far out there, but talking here, it seems like no, it's actually just a matter of doing it. It's just right there.
Have you ever heard of the story Acres of Diamonds?
Acres of diamonds. I haven't.
Okay. I wonder. How do I do this? Hold on. Maybe I can do this with my phone. Um, Gosh, should I do this on the fly? This is ridiculous. What do you have a few minutes, Wes?
Yeah, I got a couple minutes and I gotta get back, but
Oh, okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Let me just give you a super Cliff Ravenscraft is lost his marbles and can hardly remember how to tell the story. Acres of Diamonds. There is a guy who owns a farm back in the old days, and he has all of this land, and he's hearing stories about all these people who are out around the world finding gold and diamonds and becoming incredibly wealthy, and he has this desire. He had this wish to go out and be an explorer and find great wealth and never have to work again, because he's working this farm all the time. Anyway, one day he finally decides, okay, I've heard enough stories about these people finding all of these diamonds and becoming independently wealthy and all this other stuff. Uh, I'm going to go and do it. So he finds somebody to buy his farm, all his acres, and he sells the whole place for pennies on the dollar. All right. And then goes out, invests everything, and starts his search for great wealth. Ultimately, if my memory serves me correctly, he ends up dying in his search and never really finds wealth. Meanwhile, the story comes back to the person who purchased the farm for pennies on the dollar. And one day, down in the creek, he actually saw this black rock that was glistening, and said, that's so beautiful, the way it catches light and everything. And he brought it back home, put it on his mantle over top of the fireplace in the farmhouse. One day, somebody comes over to visit and says, "Oh my gosh, that has to be the largest raw diamond I've ever seen in my life." He's like, "What are you talking about? It's just a rock." He's like, "No, that is the largest raw diamond I have ever seen in my life." Turns out that it was a diamond, and the creek was filled up with them, and also was the surrounding land. In fact, the story, the way that I've heard the story, it is supposedly not a fable. It's actual truth that it's
Mm.
that farm what actually became the world's largest ever diamond mine in the world.
You already had it.
The man had already been in possession of acres of
Mhm.
diamonds.
Oh man. Hmm. I
And
like
when I
stories like
and
that.
when I look at Wes, I see Wes sitting there with acres of diamonds. That's my whole point of this story.
Oh wow. Oh, I appreciate that. I think that's I'm gonna be thinking about that. I think that's, I didn't, I was on my lunch break here and I was like, I'll just jump on to say hi to Cliff real quick. I did, but to every
Yeah.
time, every time we chat, there's always these things that just I think about. And last time we chatted, you had said, and I think about it every day, at least, if not multiple times. And I've shared it with anybody else who's going through similar situations that I went through. And you said, you tell your kids stories every night. And I said, yes. And you said, do you tell them horror stories? I said, well, of course I'm not telling them horror stories. And you said, then stop telling yourself the horror story. And I just I've always wanted to say thank you for that because I think about that all the time. Like, what story am I telling myself? And realizing how many times I've told myself a horror story. Essentially, it's like, well, I wouldn't share that with my kids, people I love absolutely, and want the best for. Like, and so this story, that comment and previous comment, this story is stuff that I'm going to be chewing on. I know Lisa and we go for a walk every day. I know we'll be talking about our walk today.
I love it. And by the way, go in search of the story Acres of Diamonds. There's probably a YouTube video that will tell the story accurately. There's the story's in public domain, so the book's out there for free in a lot of different places. But I also want to just point out, and I mean, sure, you'll pick up on it already, but the idea is you thinking, oh my gosh, I need to take and go and find and create a YouTube channel and create a series and go do something else is like you selling what Rice Camp is, for pennies on the dollar, not seeing its value and going out somewhere else in search of
Hmm.
what's right already in your ownership, in your possession.
Hmm. That's what I needed to hear today. I didn't realize it, but hearing it now, it's like, yeah, 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 I needed to hear that.
Thank you, Wes.
So
You're the
thank you,
confirmation
Cliff.
I desire today for why I'm here 90 minutes a day just seeing who shows up. So I appreciate you.
Oh, likewise. I really appreciate your time and just your perspective and your friendship. I just really value it. So thank you very much.
Absolutely. Anytime. We'll see you again soon.
All right.
Bye.
All right. Take care. Bye bye.
All righty. We've got 16 minutes left. If anybody is watching and you'd like to have an exchange, feel free to reach out to me. Thank you for your understanding. Let me try to move tentative meeting at that time. All right, sounds good. Okay, so we'll do that. And we'll do that. All right. 15 minutes. What shall we do for 15 minutes? I wonder who my one viewer is out there. It says I have one viewer. If you are watching me and you've been kind of just sitting there on the side, leave me a comment, whether you're on Facebook, LinkedIn or YouTube. And I'm going to go to LinkedIn and see if I can see any comments there. Got a few more folks. Welcome to the live stream. Okay, so there is a comment here over on LinkedIn. It was 1 hour ago. Okay, so let's see if I can pull this up. I doubt very seriously that Aaron is still here, but let's see if I can't pull this up. Oh, by the way, real quick, we've got Sean says, nice to catch your live today. Well, Sean, hello, welcome to the live stream. Glad that you're here. I'm here for at least 13 more minutes, and we'll stay longer for anybody who wants to chat with me. So if you'd like to join, I have a Zoom call here at cliffravenscraft.com/join. No pressure, but and it's simply an invitation if you would like to join. Real quickly, let's see here. This is what Erin said. She says, well, this is cool. I've not seen a live on LinkedIn before. Who are you working with right now, client wise? Well, I'm not at liberty to say who some of my clients are. We work in a lot of confidentiality, but I can say the type of clients that I work with. I work with some folks who are very well known in certain entrepreneurial circles, and I help them through brainstorming ideas, sometimes business strategy, but mostly around mindset stuff. I work with a lot of people who are not as well known, but in the entrepreneurial space. I work with a lot of business owners. But then again, I work with anybody on practically anything. So it's not the necessarily the most niche down model. But who am I working with right now, client wise? I would say anybody who has a dream of experiencing something in life that's currently not a part of their experience, and that it's a pretty big deal to them. That's who I work with. So people who have dreams that have, and the lack of fulfillment of that dream is a significant situation for them, and that's who I work with. Sean says, I'm at work right now, but maybe can catch you later on at 2. So let's see, catch you later on 2M. Not sure what catch you later on 2 meters. So maybe you're saying catch me on 2 meters on the amateur radio. Maybe that's what that means. Not sure. Or catch you on at 2 p.m. I will be ending this live stream in about 11 minutes if I don't have somebody in queue to chat, or if I'm not in the middle of a conversation. But you're certainly welcome on 2 meters. Okay, great, Sean. Awesome. On 2 meters. Sweet. So, Sean, remind me, have we chatted on the local repeaters here? What's the call sign? Maybe that'll stick out for me. So he is watching on Facebook. That's where these comments are coming from. I've been talking to so many people through amateur radio that I haven't yet quite put everybody's names to call signs and everything like that. But we're obviously Facebook. Well, I guess we're Facebook friends. Let me see if I can find out if Sean and I are Facebook friends. Let's go to Facebook. Go to this particular live stream. And here is Sean's comment. We are not friends, so let's fix that. So, Sean, I just added you as a friend on Facebook. Or at least I sent a request. All right. I don't think we have. I hang out on 5.37, November 8, Hotel India Tango. Okay. Very cool. On 5.37. I'm trying to think what 5.3 is. That 6? No, that's not 6 meters. So 5 would be all the way down. Is that 80 meters? 75 meters? I've only been amateur radio licensed for 1 year now. It's actually been officially 1 year this month. Okay, there we go. 145.37. Okay, so that would, yeah, okay, that is the one that I get on that one quite a bit. So November 8, Hotel India Tango. NAHIT. Well, I'll be on the lookout for you. So I guess you're in my local hometown. Do you talk to Rick, KA8 RTG and KA8 LAY, Bill and Rick? I would imagine. I'm pretty sure that's the repeater you're referring to. John Becker. Got 8 more minutes if anybody's out there wants to join. cliffravenscraft.com/join. Let me just put this up here just in case. He says, "Yep, that's the one." Awesome, Sean. Well, I'll definitely be checking I'll be looking for you on the repeater. And so that would be great. I'm thrilled that you discovered the live stream today. Awesome. I love it when my worlds collide. It's sometimes it's like I forget that I don't live in multiple different like universes, that they are all one universe, because there, in my mind, there's Cliff Ravenscraft, and my online community follows my stuff, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, wait a second, you know what, there are people here in my hometown who I've met through amateur radio that actually are also connected in the same world and in Facebook. So it's fun. All right, 7 minutes. If you are out there and you'd like to interact, by all means, join me, cliffravenscraft.com/join. Love to be any support, encouragement to you. All righty. How cool would it be if in the last 4 minutes and 37 seconds of this live stream, we get another person join me on Zoom and we have the most amazing conversation? That would be cool. Also, not attached to it. So, if I can be of any support and encouragement, I just had a blast chatting with Wes. That was fun. So, yeah, good stuff. Do 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 do. Alrighty, 2 minutes 50 seconds. I'm absolutely committed to staying here for the minimum of 90 minutes that I have set out to do. And by the way, if you just now came across this live stream and you're thinking about right now joining me, but then you're thinking, I don't want to keep him. He's totally getting ready to shut things down. Know this. I have plenty of time to chat with you. I have a client that was scheduled at 3:30 this afternoon, and his son was not well, and we have rescheduled. So I am currently available. So if a conversation was to start within the next 2 minutes, I have as long as that conversation is meant to be. But then again, if no one else joins, perfectly fine as well.